Welcome to Why They Play the Game, a show created to discuss the NBA on and off the court. I am Michael Eric Owens.
And I'm Ken Hayes.
Oh, my brother, we got a lot to discuss today, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Yeah, it's a lot going on. All-Star game coming up.
Yes, sir.
Trade deadline. Yeah, we got a lot to discuss and, see where everybody's at in the NBA and, see what's going to happen down the stretch.
Exactly. Before we do that, folks, hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification button, because me and Ken, we about to put something out that is really good today. We got some things to talk about. And so, brother, let's start off here just with our game of the week, man. This LA and Boston. And Ken, I'm sure you were like me. When you heard that LeBron James, the King, and AD were not participating, you thought Boston about to wax that, right?
Right.
It's going to be over. So what was your observations of the game? And we will say that the Lakers won at 114 and 105. So was your
So Mike, when we always pick the game of the week sometime, earlier in the week or over the weekend. And so when we picked the game, I was just like, Boston and LA, back in the day, that rivalry was just huge.
Yeah.
So when I heard that LeBron and AD was out, I was like, oh my goodness, come on, man.
Yeah.
This ain't nothing but some low management. I don't care what anybody's saying. And we'll probably get into that a little later too. But I was just like, man, you got to be kidding me, Mike. I mean, from a fan aspect of it, it's a real letdown, because the thing about it is that you pay all this money to come out to see these players, and they in street clothes. And I feel bad for, let's just say, fans from, let's just say, 8 to 18 who are big NBA fans.
Yeah.
They that's their heroes and things like that.
Yeah.
And they come to the games, they looking like he ain't playing today. I'm like, yeah, and they parents, they probably looking at their parents like, man, you took me to this game and they ain't playing, So
I could be on PlayStation.
Right, exactly.
See what I'm saying?
Right. So I really feel bad for them. But the other aspect is, the NBA, they have to, man, come on, they have to do something to, I don't know, stop players from, or teams from low match. We talked about this, a lot, back in the summertime,
Yeah.
I just don't get it, Mike. I mean, I understand that, it's up to the team and the physician and trainers to determine if you can play or not. But man, if I'm let's just say LeBron or AD, I'm like, I'm playing tonight. I don't care what you say. I'm playing. This is my livelihood. I got my reputation is online. Yeah. That's what I would do. That's just me. Because I mean, every night you just want to come out and ball. Now KD, and I'm switching a little bit. He a baller.
Yeah.
He has to be really, let's just say, injured for him not to play, because that's all he wants to do. But man, for the look on the NBA, as far as I'm gonna call it low management, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but it's a bad look for him.
It's a terrible look, man. And Ken, I agree with everything you said. Let me go. I'm not gonna go deeper. Let me go sideways on it.
Okay.
Ken, these are not the same type of mentality in these players.
Oh, no.
Let's just keep it real. And if we want to be honest with ourselves and with our audience, man, the King and AD didn't think they could go in Boston and get a win. Okay. So that's why they just, you know what I'm saying? They struggling right now. They probably thought they couldn't get a win, so we gonna sit. And like you right, Ken, it's so sad. I think about those people that pay that money, go through all that traffic, go through all of that. We're going to see LeBron waiting months. Like they have these tickets bought months in advance.
Right.
That's what sometimes, man, when you live in a bubble, You don't understand what's happening in everyday people's lives, man. I understand, you're a millionaire, you have money, you have this. I get that. But man, you have people that are sitting there with a, like he's got his son and his son is playing AAU ball and his son loves you and he's got aspirations and he just wants to inspire his son as best as he can. So he didn't scrap his duckies together. I'm going back in the day now. He just scrapped his duckies together and now he's going to take his son to see the king because that's his favorite player.
Right.
Posters all
Exactly.
up on his wall. And man, he walk into, listen to this, he walk into the hostile Boston Garden with 2-3 on with the purple and gold.
Getting booed.
Getting booed, Ken. And once he gets to his seat, he looks down there and what does he see? His idol in street clothes. Man, it ain't right, man. I'm just saying, like, much is given, much is required, brother. You making all types of money. And I'm not speaking because we're going to talk about Joel Embiid's injury. We're not speaking to that, man. But listen, man, I'm like you, Ken. It's a bad look for the NBA, man, when you have, man, we can look around the league, Ken, and we watch a lot of games, man. And the average fan doesn't watch a lot of games. But I'm telling you, these star players be out a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And so we and when I look on the bench, you jumping up and you doing the 3 sign and you got the wrist going and you got to you looking all smooth and man, when I call in sick, bro, I'm sick. When I can't make it, you know what I mean? Like it's like no, I can't. Today ain't gonna work for me. No, they can't stop it, man. I just, man, it's a shame that we find that these players, and I will say this, not all of them, because I don't want to take a brush and make this wide stroke, but there are just some players, man, and we just have to admit it. They just don't. They fine with not playing,
but they making a lot of money, Mike. A lot of money,
and you know what? That's cool with them. They fine without playing, man. Like we as fans, we want to see the players, give their best all the time. We want to see them hungry. Man, some players in the NBA, deep down inside, they do not want to do what it takes to win a championship. They want a championship, but they don't want to do what it takes to win a championship. And you have to be locked in, team-wise, coach-wise, on multiple levels, man, to go through the struggles, the ups and downs, when you look good, when you don't look good. Man, that takes some sacrifice, Ken. That's the word now.
Yeah,
most of these players, man, they just want to get paid, man, and go home and go, to the club or whatever they want to do. The last thing they want to do, man, is not all of them. There's some of them,
right?
Maybe even the majority of them. But I'm telling you, I just, when we okay, Ken, let's look at this game right quick.
Yeah, we got a little sidetracked.
Let's look at this game right quick, Ken. So what? Go ahead.
So what came out to me as far as the game overall is that Boston saw the same thing that, when we saw that AD and LeBron, they're like, oh, this gonna be an easy night. I'm like, I'm gonna play maybe, let's just say 35 minutes and we gonna blow them out and
yeah,
and
be over quick.
You have to and I have to give LA, their players, they came out to play. They were, looked like they were very their intensity was up high, and Reeves had a nice game. Had 32?
Yeah,
But the big thing for LA is that they had 6 players in double figures. Boston only had 2. Tatum was like 8 for 21, and I think Brown was like 4 for 12.
Yeah.
Porzingis, I think 4 for 11 or 4 for 12. No, 7 for 15. I'm sorry, 7 for 15. So they shot terrible. Boston. I mean, we always say this, Mike. When we analyze a game for Boston, they live by the 3, they die by the 3. I don't know what their percentage was as far as 3 was for Boston, but I'm sure I take that back. 33%.
33.8. They
Yep.
shot 48 threes.
48, Mike.
48 threes.
Come on, man.
See that, and that will get you. Two things will happen, Ken. You either gonna blow somebody out or you're gonna lose. Okay, that's
Okay.
that. There's no like in between there. You are either going to blow a team out because you're shooting, Ken, 48. That's almost, we might as well round it up, 53s.
You're right. Okay. That's a lot. I mean, and the thing about it, Mike, you would think, let's just say if they took it to the basket or they, went down low. How
Mm-hmm.
about if they got fouled?
Yeah.
Instead of, jacking up threes. I'm like, it gets to the point where, yeah, the 3 ball, it gets you back into the game, but, how about, taking it to the basket? So,
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Mm-hmm.
just say showing something different than just jacking up that 3. So,
Man, and Ken, I don't know if you realize, and you pointed out earlier about the double figures, but do you realize that Boston, let me see here. Boston played 10 deep, 10 players.
okay.
You notice how Boston, see, this is Joe Mazzulla. Joe Mazzulla figures somebody's going to be hot shooting threes. So that's why he goes 10 deep. That's why he rotates them out, because he wants to find who's hot.
From that 3.
From the 3. Your main guys, Jason's going to be in there, of course. Jalen's going to be in there. Porzingis going to be in there if he's not injured or in foul trouble. White's going to be in there. Drew is playing less minutes.
I know.
Okay. Less minutes, man, because they really, I said this earlier, Ken, and I think you alluded to this as well. Like, Drew, although Drew, he's a good fit, but then he's not a good fit, right? He's a good fit for them on the defensive end, but Drew like to post you up. Drew like to go down low. Drew like to take you off the dribble. Drew don't just like to sit out there and shoot that 3-pointer, and that's what they're forced him to do. Now he's shooting 43%. He's shooting very good, but he's only shooting three a game, 3 or 4 a game, because he's not in a position. He is the sacrificial lamb when it comes offensively for them. If you notice that, his numbers are way down.
Right. But Mike, do you think they're saving him for the playoffs?
Well, that's a good point. They saving him for the playoff for defense.
Right.
They don't care about his offensive, but I think in the end that's going to bite them, man, because again, you got a guy that is your main ball handler, that he is figuring, man, I cannot get busy because I got to play within the flow of this game. And this game simply means I got to pass. I got to get to the corner, or I got to get to the elbow. I have to get somewhere where I can shoot a 3. Because if you notice, man, when they rotate Hauser out, they rotate, I forget what the little dude is. They rotate him in and out. These dudes are just at the 3, Ken. I mean, the only time
Pritchard?
they drive, Pritchard, the only thing they do is drive and kick. You see, and if they can't drive, they pulling. So the question for the Boston Celtics is this. In the playoffs, when the game slows down and you have fewer possessions, can you win a 3-point shooting contest every night? That's
what
the
it comes
question
down
for them.
Right. Yeah. That's what it comes down for them. Yeah. I mean, they expect to hit those threes, and Joe said, I want to take as many threes as I can. That's his mentality.
Why is that, Ken? Because of the in a rhetorical question, right? Because of he's playing the numbers.
Oh yeah.
He's saying if I can get up 50, then I'm going to hit 17, 18, 20. If I'm hot that night, we might hit 25. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. That's all he's doing. To me, man, that's going to get you kicked out in the playoff. You're not going to win a championship. You need to have, I think, more of a balanced game. Now, don't get me wrong. Boston is a very good team. a very
Oh
good
yeah,
defensive team. They have a very good bench. They play ball together. And when they move that ball, man, they make the game look good.
they do.
Okay.
You're right.
And it's exciting to see all those threes go up. But you know what? You rest your starters when you don't hit them. Oh, they're not coming out in the third quarter. That didn't happen. That didn't happen now in 2 games where he's just
Right.
taking his starters out because they got blowed out because they can't hit a basket. That's the problem, and that's demoralizing, Ken, if that happens in the playoffs.
I'm gonna go back to something that you said, Mike. Is that in the playoffs, the game slows down. Um, you're probably not taking as many threes as you are in the regular season. And again, if you're not hitting those threes, you can go home.
Well, if you're going 10 deep, Ken, in the playoffs, if you're not hitting those threes, Pritchard, Hauser, they liabilities. They're not defensive juggernauts. They don't play
Yes.
D. They
Especially
liability now.
right.
You see what I'm saying? So I've yet to be convinced that the Boston strategy is a championship one. I think it looks great. It looks fun. It looks exciting when you hitting all those threes and you moving the ball, you blowing people out. But then on the other end, we seen how ugly it can get, Ken.
Oh yeah.
And for you to, I don't care what anybody say, bruh, you got JT. Matter of fact, you got 2 All-Stars, okay, on your team. Some people argue that White should be an All-Star. We're going to talk about that here in a minute.
Right.
I want your opinion on that. But you got Porzingis, you got a better bench. The King and AD not even playing. And you at home.
I know.
This is the most embarrassing loss of the year. This loss is, to me, they got embarrassed when they played Milwaukee. I get that. But this is the most embarrassing loss for the Celtics simply because they were at home and they had only lost 2 games at home. Man, come on, man. Can you say to me, well, Mike, it was that much of a letdown that the King and AD wasn't playing, that they just couldn't get up. You got your home crowd behind you.
Right.
That was a pathetic loss for Boston. And it said to me, it spoke to their mental toughness and how they can approach every game with that same level of intensity to win. Because if you can't do that at home,
Yeah. And the thing about it, Mike, is that they just looked like they was just, let's just say walking through the game, not much effort.
Ken, let me ask you a question. I don't mean to cut you off, but you just made me think about something. Do you think we have put these players, we have put so much in the pundits and everyone, we put so much emphasis on winning a chip that, really going out and playing hard every night and being your best every night is irrelevant because the only thing that really matters is the playoffs and winning a chip?
We have.
These players are just like, whatever. It's just a loss.
Right. They don't. Their emphasis is more, playoff time, that road to the championship. And I just think that, for me, is that you look at, I hate to do this. You look at, let's just say back in the day when Mike was playing, even a regular season game just looked more competitive than what we see now. You see guys, I mean, lately we're seeing guys score 45, 50,
62,
65,
70.
I'm like, does anybody want to play any defense? I mean, anybody, put a hand in his face, do something.
Yeah, man.
Nah, man. Mike, the thing about it is that I always say this, that if you're just going to run up and down the court, go right ahead. But if you want to be competitive, play some defense, show your game off, as far as offensively, these players, all they want to, like I said before, a dunk or a 3-pointer. That's what they want to do. Ain't no more going down low and banging.
Yeah, you're right, Ken. It's the game has changed, and I don't know I would. It's interesting that you talk about that because I think about those games, man. Those NBA games that when I was like traveling, I would listen to on the radio, and just
Oh,
how competitive they were. It didn't care if it was the first game of the season, the 25th game of the season. It didn't. Man, we used to listen to those Bulls games or watch those Bulls games, and they you didn't know. That's what I try to tell people, like these younger people. Even though the Bulls was as good a great team they were, we it was not a done deal that they would win the championship. It was not a done deal that they would even win that night, right? Like you tonight, like Cam, most of the time there are exceptions, but we could list who's going to play tonight, and we probably could predict who's going to win simply
okay.
by the teams, right? You remember back in the day, you never knew, man, the Bulls played the Jazz or the Bulls played Seattle or the Bulls played. You never knew, like, if Seattle beat the Bulls, you were not shocked
Right.
because these were great teams when they went into New York. It was a battle. Even though
It
we
was
thought the
right.
Bulls might be better than New
Better.
York, we would not have been shocked if the Bulls had if the Knicks had to beat them in the playoffs
Right.
because Patrick Ewing, you had Oakley, you had John Starks, you had a team, man.
Right.
But today you do not have that same competitiveness, man. Where every night, you know what, Patrick Ewing wants to say, "I beat you." December
Right. Oh
30th, I
yeah.
beat you.
Right.
Okay. Like it was, they wasn't trying to give no inch. And so coming from that era, man, it's hard. It's
It's
hard as
difficult
a fan
to
to
watch.
adjust to, man. Ken, it's hard. Like you mentioned, when we were having our conversation before we came on the show, we seeing these 40-point losses. You like,
Right.
what? You know what I'm saying? I just, man, I know the NBA has implemented some rules, and we're gonna go into one right now as we transition to our next topic. But we got folks that, because of the load management, because of these things that they're still taking advantage of, and I want to throw a caveat in there too, because the king is the old, he's up there in age,
Okay.
with him. I could, if he said to me, my knees kind of sore, my back, he been playing 21 years. Okay, I'm not
Okay.
gonna argue with LeBron. Okay, I want to see him play, but to me, he has more of a credible, right, argument than a dude that's been in 10 years.
I
Okay,
got
that's
you.
just
Okay.
the wear and tear on that man's body at 21 years, bro. It's got to be substantial. But the NBA and the NBAPA, right, the Players Association, agreed to a rule for the new collective bargaining agreement, the CBA, in which a player must play in at least 65 games, regular season games, to be eligible for MVP, All NBA, Defensive Player of the Year, All Defense, and Most Improved Player of the Year. So, in other words, for any season awards, you got to play a minimum of 62 games out of
65.
82. 65
Oh,
games, I'm
right.
sorry, out
Good.
of 82. What are your thoughts?
Oh, probably should be maybe 70 games, but that's a different story. Mike, the players have done it to themselves. I saw where our good friend Draymond Green said on this
Mm,
podcast that this is some BS. I'm saying to myself, but the thing about it is that you got these fans who are coming to these games who pay a lot of money, sit in these all the seats. I don't care from floor to nosebleed. That they're not getting the product that they paid for.
I know.
And the thing about it is that we saw it. Just recently. We just talked about it. AD, LeBron, they out. Okay. If it wasn't for the fact that this was the this was Silver's reaction to the load management,
Mm-hmm.
and I think,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll blame it on him on Pop. He had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
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 So this is just a result of what has happened. The thing about it, Draymond should be looking at Pop like, you caused us to, for us to be in this predicament with the 65 games. The situation with Joe Embiid. I mean, you could Mike when they played Golden State. Yeah, he got injured in that game.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
you just could see it on his face, and when when they showed the highlights, I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that could be let's just say, an exception as far as the rule is concerned. I mean, but the thing about it, Mike, is that you just get tired of coming to a game and star players out, rest. I need some
Yeah.
rest too, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the thing about it, Mike, is that you have to look at the fans aspect. That's who really, TV and the fans pay your salary. So,
Absolutely.
I don't have any sympathy for any of these players who can't play 65 games. And I'll say this, back in the day, if you look at the numbers, there were more players who were playing close to 82 games than what is right now. So,
Man, when you look at the greats, they average many of them. I
right.
can throw Bird in there, Jordan in there, Magic in there. They were 75 games a year plus.
Oh, or
Okay, 82 games. I mean,
right.
Mike played 82 games. So what I'm saying is, like, I mean, I think I'm gonna go back to what I said. When you live in a silo bubble and you
Okay.
don't understand what happens out in the rest of the real world. Can't. Okay, let's keep it real. I would like for a job to pay me for not to just not come in. And I just don't, I'm just not feeling like working today, really, No, that doesn't happen. This is a job, right? This may be sports, but it's a job. And you have to come in perform. And I think the NBA, I'm not against contracts, man, because I know the lifespan of an athlete is not, it's long,
Right.
the average, football career or basketball career average that. But man, hey, why don't you get paid as you play? Let's see
Mm,
what happens then, right? If you have to actually, this is your base salary, okay, and it's reasonable. It's not up 30-40 million dollars, right? It's reasonable. You got to really go out there and play. I think it'd be different, man. I don't care, and we're all human, man. If it doesn't cost you anything, Ken, you're not going to sacrifice, right? It's got to cost you something, and this is what this is about. And I noticed the players' argument. Draymond Green argument was not, man, if we don't have a player playing at least 65 games, man, how are we gonna be ready for the playoffs, man? How are we gonna be ready for the championship run? No, this is about awards and money. Fans, do you understand that? These players are upset because if they don't play 65 games, they might lose an award or money.
right.
Now, they're still going to get all the money they guaranteed. So they're not losing money. This is more money, more recognition. Shouldn't you earn that, Ken?
Oh, definitely.
Shouldn't you earn
Definitely.
that? I mean, I looked over, man, and Earl got employee of the month. I was like, but Earl ain't even been here. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, why Earl can we've been here like flipping these burgers forever, man. Earl ain't even been here. But his picture up there, he like employee of the month. No, you have to earn that. And these players, man, need to stop crying and whining. And I'm gonna be straight up, bro. Crying and whining about, we understand injuries hurt. I look at Joel Embiid. He's got an injury history. He is, you have to respect. You want a player to be able to play. I don't care about if a player is 100% healthy. Nobody's 100% healthy in
No.
life. People get up every morning when their alarm clock go off and they are just tired and worn out. But you know what? They get in that car, they go to their job, and they do their work. Why? Because they have to take responsibility for their
Yeah.
life, for their commitment, for their families, and so forth. So, man, I don't have a dude that's 20 some years old, man. That's like No, stop it, man. If you can't play 65 games out of 82, that means you can miss 17 games. You do not deserve an award and more money. More money? You didn't even hold on, man. How you gonna get more money when you give less?
They
Shouldn't
want it
shouldn't the man that's out there working hard, giving more, putting in the time, shouldn't the one that be eligible for it?
for more, right?
You heard what Magic said.
Yeah,
Magic
yeah.
came out. He man, listen, let me say this. This is what I wish would happen, but I know it won't happen because this would really hurt the NBA. Let Doc come out and make a statement. Let Kareem make a statement. Let Jordan make a statement. Let all of these veterans come out and make a statement because it would be embarrassing to the NBA. It is no way Karl Malone and John Stockton and these guys going to come out and talk about you need to sit.
Right.
Stop it. They knew they played through sword. Man, come on. Jordan had food poisoning. We thought it was the flu. We thought it was food poisoning, right? This dude came out, bruh, and played and he needed IV at halftime. Man, come on, man. Stop. I'm not gonna even go to where I was gonna go, Ken, but it's a bad look for the NBA. And what does it say about the mentality of the players that are complaining about this sort of rule change, which I might add, Ken, they agreed to?
They soft. That's what it comes down to, Mike. They don't want to put, like you said, you said earlier, they don't want to put in the work to get to that point of, playoff championship and just on a day-to-day regular season. They don't want to put in all that work, Mike. So that's what it comes down to. And then it's a bad look for the NBA. I mean, and the thing about it is that you would think some of these veteran players would say, come out and say, hey, let's, we need to come out and play as many games as we can because, the the stars, or let's just say other NBA, the more they play, the more fans who are going to come out. The
Yeah.
more popular the game is going to get.
Yeah.
So, but Mike, the thing about it is that you got a lot of players out here who are making a lot of money. I think off the top of my head, I think Mike, I think he had a contract. He was getting paid $4 million a year.
Oh yeah, it was
Some 4 or
compared.
5.
Oh, compared
Yeah,
to his big contracts did not come into the latter part of his year.
right,
I mean,
exactly.
and you are correct, man. I mean, I mean, Mike said something one time, man. The GOAT said, when they came along, man, the endorsements came after all of the hard work that they put in, after they had proven themselves on the court. Of course, I'm paraphrasing. And Jordan said, but nowadays, you see it. You see the sneaker deal before you even play a first NBA game. And I think that money does it is a factor. It is a factor, whether people want to admit it or not. It's a factor, man. And but winners win. And I always say, if you want to compete in this sport, in any sport, you have to put in the sacrifice to be the best. And the eye test, we see that. So Ken, thinking about that, Joe Embiid now is he's got a injured his left meniscus. We don't know how serious it is. We know that he's had problems with that knee and also the right knee. And big guys, let's be honest, big guys do have problems with ankles and knees, much more so than smaller guys, right? So
Correct.
part of it is just, he's a big guy. But man, I mean, when I look at Embiid, such a great player. I feel bad for him because I want to see him stay on the court. And I in a lot of ways, I think there's some load management that went on with Joel Embiid. But I think if Embiid could actually be on the court killing people every night, I think he would be.
He would, yeah.
I think he would be. I think he just gets too much pleasure out of just, you know,
Destroying
fading back
somebody.
on you. Oh yeah, fading back on you, pulling up 8 to 10. I mean, you know what I mean? And
Right.
so I feel bad for him, but what does this say about well, we know now he's already missed like 12 games, I think. So he's not going to be eligible for any um season award. Um is that fair?
I don't know if it's fair or not, Mike, but those are the rules.
Mhm.
As far as that's concerned, I mean, I feel bad for him. I mean that he won't be able to have a chance to to come. Let's just say back to back MVPs.
Mhm.
But the thing about it is that these players have done it to themselves, unfortunately, and that's the bad thing right there to me. Um, I think we all know that Embiid is a great player. Can do some tremendous things as far as on the court is concerned. But
Mhm.
the 60, they signed off on it, and you can't, you just can't, let's just say, change the rules to fit a particular circumstance, no matter who it is. And like you said, I'm sure Embiid would want to be out there playing, with his teammates. I mean, they have a, let's just say, a good chance of maybe making it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Mhm. Yeah. Um yeah, a rule is good when it's applied to everyone. That's called being fair.
All right.
Okay? So uh if I run through the red light and you let me go, but you pull somebody over, then yeah, the rule is not fair to everybody else, right? The rule has to be fair. And so I agree with you. I think it's unfortunate, but I think also there were times where he did sit out for load management. And there's no, again, we know that there's been no evidence that said load management makes a difference in a player's injury history. So um unfortunate. I think Philly is if he can come back, I don't know how many games he can miss, but Philly's not going anywhere without Embiid.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, they going to Cancun. Yeah, they going
I mean,
fishing. Yeah, they going. Hey, but two. Okay. Now I want to get to some more exciting. Let's talk about the All-Star selections, and so I want to first of all. Okay, so we got the Eastern Conference starters, which is Giannis, Embiid, which he probably won't be there. They probably have to bring in an alternate, move somebody up. Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, and of course Dame Time. And then for the reserves, you got Brunson, you got Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brown, Bam Adebayo, Julius Randle, Tyrese Maxey, and Paulo Blanchero. See, let's stay with the East right there. So,
okay.
Ken did not tell you. And you agreed too that he was a bad boy, but I don't think you was on hype like I was when that boy was drafted number one. Cause you remember the controversy over should he go number one? Should he? Man, when I saw him play at Duke, the same thing like when I saw Tyrese Maxey play, I thought to myself, that's special. That's special. That's different. Um, and so for him to make his all-star debut in his second year, man, that's impressive, bro, and
That
well
is impressive.
deserved.
Yeah. You have to give it to him. I mean, he's played well. But I don't. Hmm, I don't know if he should be starting, but that's
No,
me.
he's a reserve.
Okay, all
So yeah,
right.
so he's not gonna he's not gonna start because then he had to start over Giannis or if Embiid was playing, he had to start over him. So he definitely not gonna he definitely not gonna do that. Um, but the fact, man, that this guy has made such an imprint on this league, playing with Orlando, made Orlando competitive. Orlando's a good team. They just went in and beat Minnesota last
Yeah,
night.
yeah,
I
but
mean,
they up and down, Mike. You
but
know,
they young though, Ken. They
yeah, I
young
know. I got you.
boys. You know, they once they get some veterans, they gonna balance out, man. But these young boys are competing at a high level, and their defense has improved tremendously, man.
It
Because
has.
they put the clamps on Minnesota last night, man. And I was like, these young boys, the Wagner twins. I'm just very impressed with a guy that comes in. They question whether or not he should have been a number one pick. Okay. And that was between him and the brother that went to Houston, right?
I
Um,
believe.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
believe
You
so.
know, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The brother that went to Houston, right? They were talking
Right.
about him, uh, and Chet. Chet was up in that conversation too, right? And man, Orlando made the best choice possible because that boy, he mark my words, man. He if he stays healthy, he will be he gonna be a dude we're gonna be talking about for a very long time. He gonna be in some high level conversations, man. This is year 2, and this dude is walking into his first All-Star game. That is dope.
It is. It's a good thing. You know, like you said, he's young and, let's just say a superstar in the making. So, yeah, I like to see that.
That's dope, man. So there was a controversy over whether Dame should be starting or Jalen Brunson. And what was your thoughts on that choice? We know that the fans, of course, and players and coaches all have votes into this. And Dame, I guess there must have been a a tie or something like that, or I don't know how it broke down, but because of the Bucks record and so forth, Dame gets to start.
I mean, I would say um, Dame is a very popular player in the
Mm-hmm.
NBA as far as the fans are concerned, and a good dude, a good all around dude in the NBA. Um, Brunson is having a great year, and I
Yeah.
think you asked me a couple of shows ago, who am I more impressed by so far this year, and I said Brunson.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I just because the thing about it is that I mean last year had a good season, but this year is just I'll just say I won't say it's a coming out, but he's just playing very well and leading New York. If it wasn't for him, they wouldn't be in the position that they're in right now.
I agree.
Um, so I mean, I like Brunson as a player. Gets to the basket, can shoot it, and everything else. So I just like his game. But I don't see the controversy, Mike. I just Dame is Dame.
Yeah.
Um, had 45 one night. Let's just say there was one game where he hit the three at
Mm-hmm.
last second shot to win the game. So to me, long as both of them are on the All Star team, and the thing about it is that I don't get all let's just say uptight about it because this is a fans game.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
True.
it's this is who they want to see or don't want to see, or popular or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I mean either one. If Jalen would have started over Dame, I would be cool with that too. So
Yeah, I
I
mean
mean,
Brunson's
but
having. Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
But the thing about it, I mean, Dame coming, from playing with Milwaukee, so I'm glad to see him start, with him and Giannis. So
Yeah, I mean, you get rid of coach that that's got 2 all stars. Go get his first time Dame is ever starting an all star game. I'll put that out there. It's in a Bucks uniform, but we'll
right,
just we can mention that. At the end of the game, you know, uh, who do you want shooting, Brunson or Dame?
I'll say
That
Dame. He's a better
man.
outside shooter than Brunson.
110%, 110% time. Dame is the best closer when you talk about in the NBA. If you want to put it in his hands, and they recognized that the other night. I mean, when they double team him and he had to go back to Brook should have went back to him for the shot, but the play Doc had the play set up for him, which was the right thing to do. So, Tyrese Maxey. Oh man, he's an all-star again. For the first time, right? Tyrese Maxey is there. So I see these guys that really put in the work. Brunson puts in the work, man. Love his game, love his aggressiveness, man. I like to see guys like that rewarded. So let's go to the Western Conference. So we got the King,
Man,
we got
that's where I
Durant.
have a problem at. Ooh, man, come
We
on.
got the King, we got Durant, we got the Joker, we got Luca, and we got SGA starting. Now we had a discussion about Curry and was he gonna be started or not? Right?
I was
Okay.
wrong. I was wrong. I thought, man, there's no way Curry's not starting in his All-Star game, but things have changed.
But Ken, if you had been right, it wouldn't have shocked nobody, right? I mean, like so that was the conventional wisdom. Like, how in the world could this man not, when he is really one of the face of the NBA?
Right, exactly.
So with reserves, we got Anthony Edwards. We got I think this is his second time. I think we got Stephen Curry, of course. We got Kawhi, Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, Paul George, and Carl Anthony Towns are the ones. So no one from the Kings.
Right. That's my come on, Mike.
Okay.
So you gonna tell me, wait a minute, let me just
No, go ahead.
You tell me Fox shouldn't be on this team? Matter of fact.
But Ken, let's do this. So if Fox gonna be on that team, who you taking off?
Paul George.
But see, Paul George is going to be at that power forward. I mean, not that power, but he's going to be at that 3 spot, right? So you're either going to have to take off Ant-Man or Steph.
No, but because position don't matter to me as far as this is concerned. Paul George don't even deserve to be on the team, but that's just how I feel. I'm taking Fox all day.
Paul having a good season, bro.
Okay, all right.
But no, I just so
then.
Oh, go ahead.
So then you give LeBron and AD.
Mm-hmm.
You got two from the Lakers. What's their standing in the Western Conference? I know,
Terrible.
but anyway, this is a fans game. I see because I don't want to seem like I'm making up something.
No doubt.
But anyway, I think that's just disrespectful as far as Paul George is concerned, and Fox is not on that team.
Yeah, I just don't. Okay, go ahead, Ken. No, go ahead.
SGA, yeah, I'm fine with that. Durant, I just said, man, Fox, come on, man. Yeah, there's something wrong. They better find a way to put him on as a reserve or something. I don't care.
This is but Ken, this is how I figure, man. Okay, the way they do it, they match the guards with the guards, and so I can't take Luka out. I can't take SGA out.
No,
you're not gonna take the King out. So there's just no place for Fox. Now, if you're talking about a reserve,
that's what I'm saying, right?
Then
that's what I said.
I can't take out Ant-Man.
Okay.
I can't take out Steph.
No.
But see, you can't take out a guard for a forward though. No, bro, you can't. No, that's in Ken's world. But no, I understand. Because I think, man, Fox is having a great season again. I think he, and I know he's one of your favorite players, man, and I dig him. But this is a problem. What happens when you are one of the lesser teams in LA?
Mike, this is a problem with a small market.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. When you're one of the lesser teams in the LA, when you don't get the attention, when you own at all at 9:30 and 10:30 Eastern time, and nobody's really seeing you play, you don't get that appreciation, right? That others will get. So while he's a cold player, I just don't think he's as popular. And I just don't think, if you look, okay, let's just say this, Ken. Do you fear Anthony Edwards and Stephen Curry, or do you fear DeAndre
Fox.
Fox more?
I think
Come on, Ken.
Curry gonna be Curry. That's
Mm-hmm.
yeah. You just because Curry can get you 10 points in, let's just say, a minute and a half.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fox is a type of person or type of player. He can either score, assist,
Yeah.
play good defense. He's not going to be the, let's just say, the more I'm gonna use the word exciting player like a Curry
Mm-hmm.
or Ant-Man. He's just gonna do it, let's just say more, I'm gonna call it more scientific. And when I say
Mm-hmm.
that, it's just gonna be, it could be in the multitudes of different
Absolutely.
areas. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And again, I love Fox, man. I love him when he was in college. We talked about him, man, coming out, man. I love his game, but I just don't. If I had the choice, I'm taking Ant-Man or I'm taking Steph. I mean, if
I
those
get
were
it.
my choices, right?
Right.
But I think it's tough, man. It's tough because you think about that. You have a dude as talented as Fox not being an all-star, and he's an all-star, but there's only so many slots you can give. But I think and this is a reason why I thought Steph was not going to start because of all of the controversy that has happened with Golden State. The fact that they have a losing record, the fact that they got crazy man over there choking people, slapping people, stomping people, kicking people. You go on, the list goes on, and then getting on this podcast just talking out the side of his neck. Man, just because you played the game don't mean you can analyze the game.
Okay.
I got to make that clear. Like, just because you played the game don't mean you analyze the game. A lot of these NBA players don't even watch all the games. Fans watch all the games. When you in there, fans are reading, and a lot of these fans, guess what? We may not made it to that high level, but a lot of these fans have played competitive basketball.
Oh
So they
yeah.
understand the schemes. They understand the locker room. They understand all of that. Maybe not on your level, but what I'm trying to say is don't dismiss
Right.
the
Exactly.
fans, right? Because the fans, we put money in your pocket too now. And we talking about you. We make you relevant. And it's not always great, but it's not always bad. I would like to think it's balanced, but I think that hurt him, man. I think that hurt his popularity. Like Steph was kind of like Camelot. You know what I mean? Oh
Okay.
yeah, he like the Midas touch. Everything he touched turns to gold. But all of a sudden, we start seeing cracks in the armor, kinks in the armor. Right? We start seeing people start questioning why Steph ain't saying nothing about Draymond Green's antics. So I think
Yeah.
he took a popularity hit, not talent wise or this, that, and the other thing. And you must admit, if you would put him up straight up against SGA is gonna have him.
Oh yeah. Oh
Let's just
yeah.
be honest. He gonna
Oh
eat.
yeah.
He gonna eat all evening long. So you cannot say like he should have started ahead of SGA,
Oh
man.
no.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying like I don't and Luca. Oh man, come on now. You're not going. No.
So Luca's starting as a guard.
Well, they probably going. LeBron likes to handle the ball. LeBron's is a captain. What LeBron should do is go to that third. He should go to the three spot. That's what he really should do. But
Okay.
the king like to handle because Luka is a point guard. Luka is a point guard. He's not going to necessarily play the three spot. So I think LeBron's going to go to three. Luka and SGA is going to be up there. And man, I like that West starting lineup though. Man. Ooh, man, Ken, hey, listen, I'm on the East Coast, boy. I'm an East Coast boy, but I'm saying that starting lineup,
Yeah, he
the
got nice.
King, the Killer, the Assassin, man, the Joker. Oh,
Yeah, they got.
man, listen, Luca and then SGA, Ken, Giannis. Well, we don't know what's going to happen with Embiid.
Oh, he
Okay,
not playing.
Jason, he can get down. Tyrese, we know what he can do. Damian, but I'm telling you, the West Start lineup is better.
I give you that. I give
Okay,
you that.
it just is, man. I mean, they got shooters, they got passers, they got ridiculous assists, man. They got it's but Ken, okay, in closing, because we know this has been a long podcast. We had a lot
I
to cover
know.
that was going on, and we ain't even covered everything that me and Ken been talking about. So we kind of just hit the highlights. But Ken, let me ask you a question, man. Oh, let me make a statement, then let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Last year, when I watched the All-Star game,
I'm
I
glad you
almost
said that.
vowed to myself that I would never watch another one. Ken, why should I, given what happened last year, as a fan, watch this year's All-Star game? Convince me.
So, Mike,
Or not.
I think Adam Silver told the players that, look, I'm gonna say the ratings for the All-Star game were terrible. Um, the coach who was from Denver, Malone,
Yeah. Oh,
he
yeah.
said that, he just said, this was the worst thing I could ever have done as coach, this All-Star team. So I think these players are going to be much more competitive this go around than last year, because I'm gonna say their reputation is online.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it should be some type of incentive as far as, winning the game, is that whoever goes to the finals, let's just say the West wins, they would have home court advantage in the finals. That's,
Man, that would be serious.
yeah.
Now that would be serious.
So,
That would make them compete
yeah.
if that was the outcome of victory there. I'm scared, man. I'm scared to watch it again. I'm scared to watch it, man. It was so I'm just gonna be honest. It was so
it was,
terrible.
it was.
It was horrible. And I was just like, man, and I love these guys, man. I love to see their talent and them compete, man. It's at the highest. This is the highest level of basketball. This is the best basketball league in the world.
World.
And then we bring together the best stars in the world. We're talking about these are international players, Giannis and Jokic, and you got Serbia, Croatia, you got Greece, you got Africa, you got all of this in this game. And we should be sitting up there going like, man, wow, man, look at this talent. Instead of saying,
Yeah.
what? What are they doing? Why are we even watching this thing, man? So for me, Ken, I don't know, brother. I'm you know what? I'm gonna peek at it. I'm not gonna sit up here. If I say I'm gonna watch it, I'll be lying. I'm gonna peek at it because I was so disappointed, Ken, last year. And I know the
It was
NBA don't want me to say this because I don't want to discourage people from not watching it. But man, it left such a sour taste in my mouth, man, that I don't even know if I could even just take it, man. It's even if it gets a little bit better, even if they start playing more in the second half of this, that, and the other thing, that still ain't good enough for me, man, because last year's performance was pathetic.
It was, but yeah, it was. It was downright terrible. So it's just like,
I'm like, man, these really like they were playing like we don't want to get hurt. We don't,
right.
Nobody's gonna do, and when that is in the mind of I think athletes, you're very cautious and you're not gonna perform. And I think again, it's a change in mentality from I'm going to do whatever I need to do out here to win this game. And winning the All-Star game used to be bragging rights.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Exactly.
East
Yeah.
Coast. Who's the best coast? West Coast or East Coast? We used to have those rivalry, man, those discussions. Now, your best player might have been on the East Coast, West Coast, then back to the East Coast. You might have 3 jerseys with your it's a shame when you can turn your jersey in now because your player leaves. I mean, I just thought that was like, I want to rent jerseys now. Can I rent them? You know what I'm saying? Let me get a 24 lease on that jersey right there to see if he's going to be around for 2 years.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, Ken, we can start our own renter jersey, like Renter Center, rent a jersey.
That's pretty, it's really sad, but it's the reality though.
Man, it's reality. Ken, you got the last word, brother.
Watch the All-Star game. It should be better than last year. Much better than last year. I'll put it that way.
Wonderful. Folks, the world of sports unites us. Let's take this unity in our everyday life. This is why they play the game.